The Miami Dolphins have officially released their very first depth chart ahead of their preseason opener against the Commanders, and it is packed with absolute shockers. From unexpected rookie starters to veteran stars fighting for their roster lives, this unofficial coaching blueprint changes everything we thought we knew about this football team. If you thought training camp was crazy, wait until you hear who is actually running with the first-team defense. If you love deep-dive football breakdowns like this, hit that like button, share this with fellow fans, and subscribe to the channel right now. Now, keep in mind this depth chart is technically labeled as unofficial, so nothing is carved in stone just yet. But make no mistake, this gives us our absolute best look into the mind of this coaching staff as we prepare for live game action. We have to start with the quarterback room, though I will admit it is probably the least dramatic position on the roster right now. Malik Willis holds down the top spot as expected, with Quinn Ewers locked in at number 2 and Cam Miller sitting at number 3. To be completely honest, the depth behind center has not looked great throughout training camp, with both backup options struggling through some brutal practices. It is definitely a situation worth monitoring if injuries ever strike, but for now, the hierarchy at quarterback remains completely untouched. Where things get truly fascinating is in the running back room, where the order of players brought some major revelations. Devon Achane obviously leads the group as the explosive home run hitter we all know and love, but behind him sits rookie Jalen Wright as the clear number 2 running back. All off-season long, the consensus assumption was that Doak Walker Award winner Ollie Gordon II would hold down that second spot on the depth chart. Instead, Wright has put together a sensational training camp, running with immense power, decisive cuts, and surprising ball security. Remember, Wright had serious fumbling concerns coming out of college, but he has kept the football completely secure all summer. Meanwhile, Ollie Gordon II has put the ball on the turf 3 times already in camp practice, which explains why he has been demoted to the 3rd spot behind Wright. Rounding out the room are Carlos Washington Jr. and Donovan Edwards, with Washington surprisingly jumping ahead of Edwards. Washington has made some incredible plays in practice, and if Miami decides to keep a 4th tailback on the final roster, he has put himself in pole position to claim that spot. Is there anything more exciting than a coaching staff willing to get creative with physical athletes? That brings us to one of the biggest surprises on the entire offensive sheet, the fullback position. Miami listed Ben Sims as a fullback and tight end hybrid rather than putting him strictly with the tight ends. Sims has spent his entire career operating as an inline tight end, known primarily for his heavy-handed blocking ability. By slating Sims at fullback alongside DJ Herman, the front office might be setting up a clever offensive wrinkle. If the staff trusts Will Kaczmarek to handle standard blocking tight end duties, moving Sims to fullback gives the offense a massive, physical blocker who still possesses genuine receiving upside out of the backfield. That shift leaves the dedicated tight end room looking very light, featuring only 5 traditional players: Greg Dulcich, Will Kaczmarek, Seydou Traoré, Cole Turner, and Jeremiah Franklin. The fact that Sims was completely omitted from the pure tight end chart speaks volumes about how Miami views his new role. Even more surprising is seeing 5th-round rookie Seydou Traoré listed all the way up at tight end 3. Based on practice reports, Cole Turner seemed to be having an outstanding summer, consistently making splash plays in the passing game. But the coaching staff elevating Traoré above Turner tells us they are ridiculously high on the rookie's upside and development trajectory. Moving over to the wide receivers, the coaching staff organized this group by specific field roles rather than standard numerical order. The 3 designated starters on the depth chart are Jalen Tolbert, Malik Washington, and Caleb Douglas. Douglas is slated as the primary Z receiver, Tolbert takes the X receiver spot, and Washington operates out of his natural slot position. Seeing Caleb Douglas listed as an immediate starter as a 3rd-round rookie is massive news. It validates every single glowing report coming out of practice about his smooth route running and body control. Looking at the depth behind them, Douglas is backed up by veteran speedster Tutu Atwell and Terrace Marshall Jr., while Malik Washington has Kevin Coleman Jr. and A.J. Henning behind him in the slot. Behind Tolbert at the X position sit Jalen Reagor and Taj Washington. But here is the major key to remember. Chris Bell is currently sitting on the physically unable to perform list. Once Bell gets fully healthy and activated, he is almost guaranteed to take over that starting X receiver role from Tolbert. On the flip side, Fan-favorite undrafted free agent Theo Wees Jr. finds himself buried all the way down as the fourth-string receiver behind Douglas, Marshall, and Atwell. That is a dangerous spot to be in with cut-down day rapidly approaching. Which dynamic target do you believe will actually lead this Dolphins offense in total receiving yards when the season ends? Let us know your exact predictions down in the comments below, because I want to see who you think dominates this passing attack. Switching over to the trenches, the offensive line presented a fascinating situation regarding newly acquired guard Caden Wallace. Miami traded for Wallace just 24 hours ago, and despite not having taken a single snap in practice yet, he is already listed in two separate position battles. On the right tackle depth chart, Wallace is listed alongside Charlie Heck as the primary backup behind the starter. Over at right guard, he is tied with rookie DJ Campbell for the third-string spot. The coaching staff clearly values Wallace's positional versatility and potential, immediately thrusting him into key rotational battles the moment he walked into the facility. Over on the defensive side of the football, things get downright wild. Up front along the defensive line, veteran Jordan Phillips and top draft pick Kenneth Grant are locked in a fierce, head-to-head battle for the starting nose tackle spot next to Zach Sealer. Whichever player loses out on the starting job will become the anchor of the defensive line rotation. Phillips has put together an incredible offseason dating back to spring OTAs, but Grant has flashed elite raw power throughout camp. Meanwhile, Zeke Biggers has put together a quiet but dominant summer, earning the backup defensive tackle spot directly behind Sealer, while Matthew Butler and Alex Huntley round out the interior depth. The edge rusher room brought even more tactical intrigue. Chop Robinson and Joshua Uche are locked in as your clear starting edge rushers, but the depth chart behind them is where the real drama lives. Veteran Clelin Ferrell is listed as Chop's primary backup, while Robert Beal Jr. surprisingly claimed the main backup spot behind Uche. That leaves former high draft pick David Ohabo buried at edge number 5, sitting firmly on the roster bubble heading into preseason games. Max Llewellyn sits behind Ferrell, while Cameron Good, Mason Ryer, and Rodney McGraw find themselves sitting at 4th and 5th string. Seeing Ferrell elevated so quickly despite suffering an injury that could sideline him for weeks shows just how much respect this staff has for his veteran experience. The linebacker position easily provided the biggest eye-openers on the entire roster sheet. First, rookie Trey Moore was officially listed as a starting off-ball linebacker over veteran Willie Gay Jr. when Moore was drafted. There was debate over whether he would play edge or off-ball linebacker, but his instincts in space have earned him a starting nod. Second, rookie Jacob Rodriguez is locked in a direct battle with Tyrell Dodson for the second starting linebacker spot alongside Jordan Brooks. If the coaching staff has enough belief in Rodriguez to name him a co-starter before a single preseason game, they need to hand the rookie the keys immediately. Furthermore, Ronnie Harrison Jr. and Q Blue Kelly are listed as the primary backups to Brooks. This setup strongly indicates that Miami plans to utilize heavy, big nickel packages, allowing versatile defensive backs to slide into the box for run support while maintaining slot coverage capabilities. At cornerback, first-round pick Chris Johnson is officially listed as the starting nickel cornerback, while Guju Brinson and Jason Marshall Jr. hold down the boundary spots. Behind them, Ethan Bonner, Marco Wilson, A.J. Green, Miles Battle, Alex Austin, and Ethan Robinson provide depth, with recent additions Nick McLeod and Amari Harvey sitting near the bottom as they learn the playbook. Listing Johnson at nickel is not a demotion. It is a tactical strategy to keep his elite athletic traits on the field in 5DB sets while utilizing veteran Alex Austin as his primary nickel backup. At safety, Zane Anderson has officially earned the starting safety job opposite Dante Trader Jr. Anderson's familiarity with defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley's system from their time in Green Bay, combined with his high-level special teams play, pushed him past rookie Michael Taff. Taff and Major Burns back up Anderson, while Lonnie Johnson Jr. and Lewis Moore back up Trader. Finally, on special teams, Riley Patterson, Bradley Pinion, and Tucker Addington handle place kicking, punting, and long snapping duties. Malik Washington holds down the starting kick returner and punt returner roles, backed up by Jalen Wright, Jalen Rager, Kevin Coleman Jr., and Tutu Atwell. From Trey Moore's surprise starting spot to Zane Anderson's elevation, this depth chart proves that performance on the field truly dictates opportunity under this coaching regime.